Okay, on this national security issue thing that we've talked about earlier, we're out here in the shop at the old Bridgeport here, and the thing that I want to try and impress upon everybody is that this setup here, this old Bridgeport here that I've had for 30 years or longer, it was used when I got it, is about the only thing that's American made involved in this precision gear generating operation for the radar sets that I spoke of briefly earlier. Now, for example, this Brown and Sharp style indexing head is made in China, as well as the tailstock, which is they're genuinely the headstock's pretty good, but genuinely the tailstock's a piece of shit. The keys that are supposed to locate it into the tables grooves are so far off that I had to remove them and dial indicate this entire assembly. And we're just going to turn the machine on here for a second, and we're going to cut a gear. And that's what we're doing right here. You can see, I'll try and get in close. There's the blank right there. Oh, by the way, that chuck is an American chuck. It comes off of my old South Bend lathe, which is also an American-made machine. But the point is that, and most importantly, is this cutter, which you will see in operation here very shortly. It took me 2 months to try and find 64 dimetral pitch involute gear cutter because I was trying to buy one made in America, and the only people that I could find in all my research and who I ultimately ordered it from were Maxwell Tool Company in Punjab, India. Anyway, so we're going to hit the power button here and turn on the spindle. And turn on our Lehman power feed, which by the way is also American made. I don't even know if they're still in business anymore. And what we're doing here is generating a tooth pattern for a blank, for a gear blank. And I got to index the head here. I made a mistake. Just a second. Sorry about the camera work. I'm trying to run a machine and run a camera at the same time. Anyway, what I'm saying about this national defense issue is that, by golly, I'm saving the United States government a shitload of money on repairing these radar sets. Okay, here's how the indexer works. Turn it around here. And we're going to get it right up to our next groove and lock it down. This is a pretty good index head for being Chinese made, but it sure ain't no damn Brown and Sharp, even though it's an identical clone to a Brown and Sharp. Like I say, I apologize for my camera work here, but I'm trying to do two things at once. My point is this: if this country cannot make tools, especially, most importantly, is this little cutting tool that you see generating these tiny splines that are going to wind up being a gear inside a clock motor that the Navy can no longer get. And they've got many radar sites that use these little gear motors, and all of a sudden I'm pretty famous for being able to take these things and rebuild them. This one here is for Norfolk, Virginia Naval Air Station. But I'm cutting the blanks. I'm cutting this thing extra long because I'm going to get several gears out of this blank once I'm done. Anyway, my point is that if our country cannot no longer produce things like this, I mean, that little cutter that's going right there, that happened to be made by, thank God, one of our allies, India, If we can't source this kind of thing anymore in the United States, this is a genuine, direct threat to national security. And I'm making this video today hoping that, you know, all the presidential, okay, it's time to index again. All the presidential candidates, including the President Obama himself, is that I don't know if he has any advisors that are even telling him about something like this. But I've been a tool and die man as well as a manufacturing engineer for the better part of 40 years. And I have never in my life seen the fact that, get a little oil on there, the fact that you cannot get this, nobody in the United States is making that little spinning involute gear cutter, which happens to be a 64 dimetral pitch, 20-degree pressure angle, and it's a number 3 cutter, actually. Nobody even understands this kind of stuff in this country anymore, and it's ludicrous. And I mean, at a time when people are outraged that all we're going to be able to do is buy Chinese-made light bulbs, to hell with light bulbs. Okay, we can live with candles if we have to, but my point is that we cannot live without this type of tooling, and this type of tooling needs to be manufactured within our own country. Otherwise, in my opinion, it is one of the worst threats to national security in the long run that I will probably ever see in my life. Anyway, thanks for listening. This is Joey signing off because this is a boring job and I've got a few more flutes to make. Thanks for watching. Bye.